Hey everybody, I'm here to bring you the second quarter of the Alabama 8A spring game, bring you a little bit of analysis of things that I saw. I'm going to jump right into it. Now, it was really cool to kind of know some things about Brian Daboll. He's the new offensive coordinator, coming in, doing a great job with Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. Now, here's two things I noticed about him based on these first two quarters. One, he really likes picking on favorable matchups. For example, when he had the second string offense in, he noticed that Aaron Robinson was having trouble getting his head around and guarding Jerry Jeudy. So what did he do? He kept having Tua throw the ball on a one-on-one matchup to Jeudy on Aaron Robinson, and it was very successful. Also, he has a very diverse, I guess, route combinations in his play calling, and so tight ends getting on the seams, and you got a few out routes here and there, ends, crossings, and so that's good to see. I like those type of plays. One last thing though, Brian Daboll, apparently he watched Jalen Hurts' season from last year 3 times to get comfortable with Jalen and know what he's comfortable with and to adjust his play calling. And that's really cool. I like that from offensive coordinator. I'm really liking this hire Saban had, so I have no problems with it. But other than that, let's get right into the plays. So on the first play of the second quarter, this is right after Mac Jones got intercepted at the end of the first. Deron Payne, this is all I had to say about this play because the rest of it was negligible. Deron Payne had a nice bull rush, and he just steadily pushed the left guard, Dallas Warmack, into the quarterback. And it's like, man, that's all you can say. On the second play of the quarter, Christian Miller exploded around Matt Womack. Matt Womack also has been having trouble keeping in front of these guys who are a little bit quicker and kind of twitching fast, just exploding around the edge. Christian Miller has a nice bend, but Hurts got rid of it though, so that was good. He got rid of it in time. But Christian Miller, man, nice moves there. Papanastas though, because that was on third down, so it was fourth. Papanastas, who they brought in from Ole Miss last year to walk on the kicker, he missed his kick, and he missed one later on too. At the 13:35 mark of the second quarter, it was good pass protection for Mac Jones. So the second string offense has the ball back now. There's nothing there. I noticed that the second string offensive line had good pass protection, and in general, actually, they've had pretty good protection throughout the spring game so far. At the 13-minute 8-second mark, there was a handoff to Najee Harris. He jump cut to get to the edge and get about 5 yards. And that was a good example. So he has good footwork. I've noticed that. And I think he over-relies on his footwork sometimes, but in this case, it worked out pretty well on him. He used his feet, jump cut outside the edge defender, and got around him for 5 yards. At the 12-minute 30-second mark of the second quarter, Mac Jones was looking for number 82, which is Irv Smith, I learned later on. But he stared him down a little bit, and the zone coverage was able to get there. Levi Wallace, once again, I mentioned his name a lot so far. He broke on it and defended it well, jumped up, knocked the ball up. So a good play by Levi Wallace there. Mac Jones needs to work on using his eyes better. So out of the three quarterbacks, he's probably the one who is a little bit further behind. 11-minute 35-second mark. Jalen Hurts had great pass protection for a while, and the downfield route was developing, but number 92, which is Quentin Williams out of Winona, broke through in just the right time, and Jalen Hurts didn't have time to really look at Calvin Ridley getting down the field. And I think he just ran out to the side, and I think checked it down, and either that just took off. At the 10-minute 55-second mark, with the play-action pass, Robert Foster beats Diggs one-on-one. Once again, Trayvon Diggs is having trouble here. He didn't use his hands again right here. Hurts put it on the money. Hit Robert Foster in stride, allowed him to keep running under the ball. Trayvon Diggs just so happened to be talented enough and fast enough to just make the tackle there. He wasn't beat terribly bad, but he was behind Robert Foster, and Robert Foster was able to get downfield completion. Jalen Hurts put it on. Only thing I would say, Jalen could have put it just a slightly more to the outside, but that would have been negligible in that play. I'm just looking for consistency there because there was nobody else around. The safety was playing high in another spot, so it didn't matter where he put it in that situation, but just in general, you may want to put it a little bit more outside. Diggs still not using his hands, like I said, and he's a freshman receiver. I mean, not freshman receiver. He's a receiver transitioning to a cornerback, so that's okay for now. They're working with him, as I saw some good things toward the end of the half. So, but we'll see how he does as the offseason progresses. He let Robert Foster have the outside release, and that's been a big problem of his too. Not using his hands and letting receivers get outside of him, which you can't do as a cornerback when you're supposed to defend, one on one. You want to push him inside so that linebackers and safeties can, help you out. But he'll learn that as time progresses. At the 10-minute 17 mark, there was a handoff to Josh Jacobs, and he showed his typical tackle breaking, tackle evading ability as he's like using his shiftiness. I love that about Joshua Jacobs. I wish he would get more playing time. Keeps his feet moving. At the 8-minute 48-second mark, it was a quick pass to Sims, but Minkah Fitzpatrick, the man, read it too well and broke on the ball, incomplete pass. At the 8-minute 5-second mark, they sent Keith Holcomb on a blitz. So I think that was maybe the first time they blitzed in their game. I guess they got tired of the offense kind of moving up and down. They sent Keith Holcomb on a blitz in the A gap, and Jalen Hurts tried to step up a bit, but he put his head down too fast. You want to see him keep his head up longer to keep looking downfield, and he wanted to take off and run, but there was no space. The defensive line and the blitz really kept everything bottled up. So yeah, just keep your head up a little bit longer, and then he'll be all right. Papanastas, again, missed the field goal, so that's 6 points off the board. 2 missed field goals by Papanastas. Luckily, we got a kicker coming in, Bulovos, in the summertime. And most likely, he'll be the one to take over because Papanastas is struggling right now. At the 7-minute 10-second mark of the second quarter, there's great pass protection for Tua Tagovailoa. He threw the ball down the right sideline to Jerry Jeudy, but it was carried out of bounds. So it was good pass protection, but Tua just kind of pulled the trigger badly there, and it went out of bounds. He wants to keep it in a little bit. I think the wind carried it. And see, where am I right now? Oh, yeah. So at the 6-minute 26-second mark, it was a quick swing to Najee Harris. And Harris, as he catches the ball, uses great ball skills to get it. He shows good feet as he picks up the rat yard. So, he's like using his feet to like kind of keep his body level and hit it in the right direction, which is really good for a running back to have, especially one of his size, something that you don't expect. But you can see why he's such a highly regarded prospect. Like I said, sometimes he tends to over-rely on those feet. So we'll work on that. At the 5-minute 50-second mark, it was good pass protection for Tua as he lofts a pass down the right sideline on Aaron Robinson again to Jeudy over Aaron Robinson. It was a beautiful throw by Tua, put it right where it needed to be. Problem is Robinson just needs to get his head around. He was about a half a step behind Jeudy, but he wasn't terribly beat to where he couldn't turn around. So he should have just turned around and played the ball. But they're working on that. Like I said, that's why he's second string. That's why he's not the starter. At the 5-minute 20-second mark, Terrell Hall only needed 1 more second to get to Tua. But it was just good enough protection because Terrell Hall was coming. This guy's talented. Number 24 in the second string defense. He's on the second string defense. Number 24. He was almost there. He only needed 1 more second. But Tua threw it to Jeudy because Jeudy was on Robinson again. And like I said, Brian Daboll likes attacking the matchups that get success. And Jeudy over Robinson just kept working. Robinson had good coverage, actually. This is one of the few plays where he's like, okay, that's just a great play by Jeudy. You can understand why he's a 5-star freshman receiver. But Jeudy out-jumped him and got the ball and got a touchdown. It was a good throw by Tua, but he should have led that pass a bit outside and more up the field. That way, Jeudy wouldn't have to stop and jump and get the ball. Like, he didn't really stop. He just kind of slow down so he can jump and get it. But if you throw it outside and up the field, all Jeudy has to do is run and catch the ball. But that's just something that you learn as a true freshman. Tua tends to rely on his arm strength because he does have a really, really strong arm, and he needs to get his feet set better, which is one thing he could work on. I mentioned in the first video, he'll shift his body and fall toward a certain way and then throw the ball with the arm. That won't work against defenses who are faster and who can read you. So he needs to get those feet set But other than that, he's a great passer. You can see it in the way he lets the ball go, especially coming from a left-handed quarterback. I'm really impressed with him. Um, at the 5-minute mark, left in the second quarter, it's a run up the middle, nothing much happened. I think this is when the first team offense got the ball back, Hurts. And at the 4-minute mark, Jalen Hurts tries Forrestall, the tight end, on stick route. And he tried to keep it low so Ronnie Harrison wouldn't get it. And that was a good idea because Ronnie Harrison, I mean, ever since that game last year, I kept mentioning it, he really has turned it on. He broke on the ball pretty well. And I think Hurts knew Harrison was going to break on it, so he threw the ball low and away, which is the best throw you need to have on that type of route when the safety's coming down on tight end. So it was a good decision by Hurts. Led to an incompletion, but not a turnover. So that's okay. Unfortunately, if he had a little bit more time, he had Ridley going over Trayvon Diggs. But actually, Trayvon Diggs did something positive on this play. But Diggs got just enough hands on him to slow him down. And that was the first time I seen Trayvon Diggs use his hands in this game. So I'm assuming the coaching staff was able to talk to him and say, hey, you got to put your hands on these receivers so that you don't get beat so quickly. Or so that you don't get beat at all if you know how to use your hands well. And but Womack was being beat, the right tackle, and so Jalen Hurts had to take it down to the tight end on the stick route. So there's that. At 3-minute 32nd mark, it was a run by Najee Harris up the middle of the second team offense again to hesitate in a hole a bit. So he got about 5 yards, but the problem is if he had just hit the hole, he would have gotten more yards. But he got there, kind of chopped his feet, and the linebacker or defensive line was able to just kind of sit there and wait on him to stop and stop him for the yards. So he has to hit it. 3 minutes left. Tua had Irv Smith wide open on a crossing route. I don't understand why he was that wide open. It was a breakdown on defense. Obviously, no one was around him. And so it was easy completion. 2-minute 43-second marks. On-time pass on a hitch to number 85, Lee. I don't know who Lee is. Pretty much had to look him up, but it was a good on-time pass. Tua threw right as he was turning around, so all Lee had to do was catch the ball. Levi Wallace wasn't able to make a play on the ball, but he was there to make the tackle and not give up anything else. Now, the thing is about this play that number 85, or Lee, should have opened up to the outside, kind of turn it this way so the ball can come here, but he did this, coming back toward the hash mark, and the ball kind of hit him there. And he caught the ball, but the problem is if a DB was fast enough or was reading that play and the ball came that direction instead of going to the outside, which could be on Tua too, because Tua probably could have threw it more to the outside. But Levi Wallace, if he had read that faster, he could have just jumped the ball and ran in for a touchdown. So you got to open up to the outside, and Tua has to throw it to the outside. So that's one thing to keep in mind there. That's a dangerous play. The next play, Tua was looking for a swing route to Harris. This is probably one of my favorite plays of the first half because it was impressive how athletic Terrell Hall is. He was looking for a swing pass to Najee Harris, but Terrell Hall at 6'5", 251 pounds, and he looks like it. He looks like he's 6'5". The 251 pounds is hidden in that length. He jumped up and intercepted the ball. After he handled Alex Leatherwood, he used his hands to put Alex Leatherwood's hands down, jumped up and intercepted the ball, returned it for a touchdown on a pick six as a defensive lineman or outside rushing linebacker, basically a defensive lineman. Impressive play. At the 1-minute 45-second mark, Tua had time, but he looked like he was surprised, or he was like, oh no, this is too much time. How do I handle this? He got a little jittery in the pocket, moved up, moved down a little bit, which is understandable as a true freshman. And he didn't set his feet, which is what I was saying. He tends to rely on his arm. He needs to get his feet together sometimes well enough on a drag to Najee Harris. So he tried to throw the drag, and his feet weren't set, and the ball just kind of overshot him. So he has to work on that. Then at the 1-minute 38-second mark, he came back and did a nice throw here. T.J. Simmons was running. I believe this was a cover 2 defense as the cornerback was playing the flat and the safety was over top. T.J. Simmons got in the middle of that. Tagovailoa threw it right in there and got the completion. So a good play. But then on the next play, at the 1-minute 32-second mark, Jamie Mosley, number 16, he played a bit last year as well. You guys remember him? He blew by Alex Leatherwood easily. And so now I understand why there's competition at that right tackle spot between Matt Womack and Alex Leatherwood. A lot of people thought that Leatherwood would come in and start right away. I can see why not. because they're having trouble with those amazing pass rushes on the outside, which is understandable. So it just depends on who looks the best between Womack and Leatherwood. But yeah, Jamie Mosley blew by Leatherwood easily there, and there's Leatherwood getting beat twice now, and more throughout the game. I just haven't targeted it. At the 1 minute 27-second mark, Tua kept looking downfield, um, but he could have moved the pocket a little bit. This is where awareness comes into play. This is why I say that Jalen will win the job. And Nick Saban just said it, not win a job. Why Jalen will keep his job. Nick Saban said there's no competition. Hurts has proved to do what he can do to win. But Tua's awareness isn't quite there yet. He looks like a true freshman quarterback at times, like Jalen did last year, which is what they don't want to do again. And so there's times where it just doesn't work out that way. But he instead of moving the pocket or even taking off for a couple of yards, he stayed in the pocket, kept looking downfield, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing to look down the field. But sometimes you got to learn to take what the defense gives you, and he took a sack instead. So you need a little bit more awareness. 1 minute 20-second mark. Great pass protection, but the ball was behind Simmons. This is Tua here throwing the ball to Simmons on I guess it was like a deep in route. Unfortunately, or maybe in a deep stick route, the ball hit Simmons behind. He should have caught it. He should have caught it, honestly, but the ball was behind, and it hit his hands and popped up. And Hootie Jones should have intercepted the ball, but the ball surprised him. He popped it back up, and Simmons caught it. So another fortuitous bounce for Tua. So he has luck on his side as well. He must pray every day. But yeah, that was the end of the series for Tua. They end up punting the ball back eventually. When Hurts got the ball back, it's like 46 seconds left. Hurts had a good check down. He was looking to the right, didn't see anything, ran to the left and threw a check down. So good play. 39-second mark, pocket breaks down on Hurts, but he fakes. Wait, what happened here? Oh, no, he doesn't fake it. He takes off when the options are closed. So he just takes off around the corner. And if it was a real game, he would probably have kept going. But in this game, he got tagged. So it was a good play. So just take what the defense gave you. Good pocket awareness. Runs a 4.49. At the 27-second mark, there's good coverage by Rashaan Evans on the tight end here. But he needs to put his hand down. Like he just overplayed it a little bit. He didn't have to wrap his arm around the tight end to defend this play, but he did, and that got him a pass interference. So Rashaan Evans, good coverage, just put the hand down. At the 23-second mark left, Hurts hits Forrestall on a seam route, and this is a really good throw. A lot of people aren't talking about this throw, and they probably just won't because it wasn't as impressive as the deep throw, I guess, or it wasn't as flashy. But defense plays zone coverage. Brian Daboll had the receivers running the seam route, specifically the tight end, and Forrestall did it. And this is the great part about this play. Jalen Hurts kept it low, which is what you need to do in a way. He threw the ball inside and low so that Forrestall wouldn't have to run up the field, go up to catch the ball, and get popped by the safety. So he did a great job to protect Forrestall on that play, and that is a great throw. That is an example of a quarterback who's paying attention and knowing how to throw the ball, and that is a great example of his progress that he has made this spring. So if you want a definitive look at what progress he's made, that's one right there. Unfortunately, Forrestall ended up getting a little dinged up anyway because the safety came in and crashed down on him when he was on the ground, even though in college football you're down once you're on the ground anyway, so I don't know why. So don't hurt your own players for no reason. But that's another thing. 16-second mark left. There's another good check down by Hurts to Joshua Jacobs. And J.K. Scott came on, actually, and kicked the field goal. He's better than Papanastas. So if in a pinch, we need to put J.K. Scott at field goal kicker, not Papanastas. But his kick was kind of leaning toward the right a little bit, but he snuck his way into the crossbar. So that was it. That was halftime. Next video, we're going into the third quarter. Let me know what you think about the second quarter. Let me know what play stood out to you. Let me know what you think about some of the things I highlighted here. Looking forward to it. Thanks for paying attention, guys.